Drive, look into it on Channel 43.
From Milwaukee's County Stadium, Cleveland Indians baseball. Tonight, the Tribe takes on the Milwaukee Brewers. Tonight's game is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. For all you do, Tribe fans, this Bud's for you. By Burger King, where we do it like you do it. By Ohio Bell and Ameritech Company. By Allstate. Leave it to the good hands, people, to ensure your home, car, business, or family. By Taco Bell. Taco Bell has your order. Make a run for the border. By Unical 76, who invites you to go with the spirit of 76. By Snapper Power Equipment and the Northeast Ohio Snapper dealers. By Fantastic Sam's Family Haircutters, where you can play the baseball superstar sweepstakes. And by Spitzer. All the hottest new cars, trucks, and vans are in stock and on sale now at Spitzer. Good evening, everybody. Jack Corrigan along with Steve Lamar from Milwaukee for Game 2 of this 4-game set between the Tribe and the Brewers. Pitching will be the name of the game tonight. Greg Swindell for the Indians, Teddy Higuera for the Brewers. It should be a dandy. And speaking of good pitching, another excellent job turned in last night by Tom Candiotti for the Tribe. Tom is down in the field with Steve Lamar.
Thank you, Jack. Tom, I guess the key point for you in the victory over the Brewers last night was getting ahead of the hitters.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Anytime you get ahead of the hitters, especially for me, I can start throwing a power knuckleball. And when I'm able to throw my power knuckleball, I'm going to get a lot of easy ground balls and pop-ups and strikeouts. And it just happened to work out great last night.
Now, to get ahead of the hitters, what do? You start them off with that fastball or cut fastball?
Yeah, I'll mix them up. I'll throw a fastball, or a little cut fastball, or a curveball, anything to get ahead. And then once I get ahead, I just go ahead and pound the knuckleball. And like last night, it was fun out there.
And it worked out beautifully. The team has not been scoring many runs over the last 2 weeks. That's no secret to anybody. You had to be awfully happy to see those 2 runs go up on the board in the 9th inning.
Yes, I was. I was real happy because I didn't want to go out for 10 or 11 or 12 innings, You want to go out there as a starter, just go 9 innings, and hopefully we'll get 3 runs, we win the game. And Ronnie Washington got a big hit, and Andy Allenson drove him in, and it was just timing. And when you get timely hitting like that, you're going to win games.
Tom, congratulations on a great effort.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Jack and I will be back with the starting lineups and the first pitch of tonight's game in just a moment.
Machine for. Don't you know Nationwide's auto parts can take you back to 63? They have a sale loaded with price flashbacks that take you back 25 years. Like Marble Mystery Oil, only 47 cents.
Wow!
And Borden No. 7 Auto Polish and Cleaner, just 77 cents.
Professor! I flashed back with Nationwide.
So should you. Nationwide's 25 years of taking care of people who take care of cars.
Steve Lamar with Jack Corrigan back at County Stadium in Milwaukee, and here's the way the Indians line up tonight. Julio Franco, Pat Tabler, and Joe Carter are the first 3, with Brooke Jacoby hitting 4th, Ron Kittle the DH 5th, and Corey Snyder in the number 6 spot. Carmen Castillo's in left field tonight. Ron Washington at shortstop. Andy Allenson bats 9th and does the catching. Defensively for the Milwaukee Brewers, on the infield, it's Greg Brock at first base, Jim Gantner at second, Dale Swaim at shortstop, Paul Molitor at third. The outfield has Rob Deere, Robin Yount, and Glenn Braggs left to right. B.J. Surhoff is the catcher, and the pitcher, the talented left-hander, 29-year-old Teddy Higuera. He is 3-1 on the year with the 6th best earned run average in the American League, 2.30. He has been battling back problems. He's had back spasms, which knocked him out of one start, pushed another start back, and limited him to about 3 innings in another start. 4-4 lifetime against the Indians and against the American League in his career. 56 wins and only 30 losses. The umpires, John Shulock working at home plate tonight with Jim Joyce at first base. The crew chief, Jim McKean, will be at second, and Mike Riley is the umpire at third. The Indians and the Milwaukee Brewers, game 2 of this 4-game weekend series. The Indians getting a victory last night to run their winning streak to 3 in a row, opening this series with a 3-1 victory. The Indians now 3-5 on this long road trip their longest road trip of the year. They started out 0-2 at Seattle, 0-2 at Oakland, then won 2 out of 3 in Anaheim against the Angels, and the first game of this series here in Milwaukee.
And Teddy Higuera will be watching closely tonight. As Steve mentioned with the back spasms, it is a very cool night here with the breeze blowing in from left field here at County Stadium. And perhaps that back is going to give Higuera some problems in the cool weather tonight. I'm sure the Brewers will be watching that closely. As a rule, Steve, Teddy has always been a good or better second half pitcher anyway.
He has an incredible mark in the second half of seasons in which he's been in the big leagues. 30 wins and only 10 losses. Last year he was 11-3 in the second half.
Julio Franco will lead it off for the Tribe. Julio with a .243 batting average, a home run and 8 RBIs. Had 2 base hits last night, one of them a double. Julio on the road trip, particularly over the last 4 or 5 ball games, has shown signs of getting back to the Franco style of old at the plate. Pat Tabler will hit second for the Tribe. They tell us it's 56 degrees here at game time, but that breeze blowing in certainly has it much cooler here at County Stadium. Brock will give chase, but it'll carry over the Brewers dugout on the first base side. Surhoff also taking a look over there. The Brewers were the streakiest team in baseball last year. They are doing it again this year. They tend to win and lose in bunches.
Really hard to figure that out.
It's amazing. Count evens on Franco at 2-2. The Brewers currently are on a 3-game losing skid. They have also lost 7 straight this year, but they had a very large winning streak going before this current losing streak, and overall in their last 22 ball games they've won 17 of them. They come in with a record of 18-14, so they have been able to turn it around with very good pitching with people like Higuera and Chris Bosio in particular. Franco going to the right side. Glenn Braggs in the track of it for out number 1.
Your attention, please. May Metcalf report to the Brewer office. May Metcalf.
With one away, Pat Tabler playing first base again tonight with another left-handed pitcher on the mound. Tabby played at first last night against the lefty Juan Nieves. He went 0 for 4. But Pat had a very productive series in Anaheim, went 6 for 14 the last couple of nights in California. Also hit his first home run of the year in the series against the Angels in Anaheim. .239 batting average is still about 60 points below where you normally expect to see Mr. Tabler.
Well, that's something about a hitter who has proven himself over the years. Even though Tabler's hitting around the .240 mark right now, you would expect that by the time we get past the All-Star break and into late in the year, he'll be right back around that 300 mark.
One pitch from Teddy Higuera. 1-2. Higuera does not throw the screwball as frequently as he used to, or as frequently as the other famous Mexican hurler, Fernando Valenzuela. Tends to beat you more by changing speeds, throwing the breaking ball. Has an excellent fastball. 2-2. And speaking of Higuera and Valenzuela, we have some guests alongside of us in the next booth, Steve.
We do. The Mexican broadcasters who follow the Dodgers and broadcast whenever Valenzuela pitches, and now they follow Teddy Higuera with the Brewers and broadcast back to Mexico whenever Teddy is on the mound. They do a lot of traveling.
They sure do. Off speed and a beauty on the inside corner. First strikeout for Ted Higuera. 37 on the season for the little left-hander.
Call your office. Dr. Terry Sullivan. Call your office. Thank you.
Higuera getting that one over. The breaking ball gets Tabler, who was tied up and fooled by Higuera on that.
Higuera set a record last year, not only for the Brewers, as you see Joe Carter digging it at home plate with a .341 batting average, but last year Higuera struck out 240 men. That's the most by any single Milwaukee pitcher, Brave or Brewer. Carter puts it in the air to right field. Braggs will give way because it is in Jim Gatner's glove as it hung up in the wind. So an easy top half of the first for Teddy Higuera. The Brewers will get their first crack at Greg Swindell when we come back.
See America better with Union Eye Care. Professional eye examinations, fashion frames, quick personalized service, priced for your budget. Now with summer approaching, Union Eye Care brings you Cooper Vision UV natural contacts that block out damaging sunlight and all other ultraviolet rays.
We care about people more at Union Eye Care Center.
Protect your eyes. See America better. Visit one of Union Eye Care's 8 convenient locations.
As if Super Lotto isn't fun enough. Here's the kicker. Now play Super Lotto, kick in one more buck, and get 5 more ways to win. There's a new 6-digit kicker number on every Super Lotto ticket. Say yes to the kicker, and your number could match to win cash prizes up to $100,000. Ask your lottery sales agent about the kicker. It's a great way to get an extra kick. Wow! From Super Lotto.
If you have business in Newark, U.S. Air has just what you need. 4 non-stops every business day.
The Milwaukee Brewers ready to come to bat against the Indians in the bottom of the first inning after Cleveland failed to score in the top of the first inning, going in order against Teddy Higuera. Here's the Brewers batting order. Paul Molitor is the leadoff man with Robin Yount. Moved up to the number 2 spot. Glenn Braggs will bat third in right field. The cleanup hitter is the left fielder Rob Deere. Greg Brock, the first baseman, bats 5th. Designated hitter Joey Meyer is 6th in the order, with B.J. Surhoff, the catcher, batting 7th. Shortstop Dale Swaim in the number 8 hole, and Jim Gantner, the veteran second baseman, batting 9th. Here's the way the Indians set up on defense. Pat Tabler is the first baseman tonight with Julio Franco at second. Ron Washington handling the duties at shortstop, and Brooke Jacoby at third. Carmen Castillo, Joe Carter, and Corey Snyder in the outfield from left to right. The catcher, Andy Allenson, and the pitcher, Greg Swindell. Greg, the 23-year-old left-hander, 6-1 on the year. His earned run average 7th in the league, right behind Teddy Higuera at 2.34. Greg coming off his first loss of the year, losing last Sunday to Dave Stewart out in Oakland 5-1. He gave up 5 runs, just 3 of them earned in 6 innings of work. Greg, lifetime in the American League, 14-11. And against the Milwaukee Brewers, 1-1. This is a very special place for Greg Swindell. This is the ballpark in which he picked up his first major league victory back late in the 1986 season. Greg throws the fastball, the curve. He'll slip in 8 or 10 sliders usually in a ball game, and he has that changeup. And of course, he is off to a magnificent start with the Indians this year.
And he loves to pitch to Andy Allenson. Interesting note provided by Rick Mintz, the Indians PR director, traveling on the road with us. In 10 career starts in which Andy Allenson has caught Greg Swindell, Swindell is 9-1. And Greg has said already that Andy and he are almost always on the same wavelength. They really have a good idea what the other one wants to accomplish against each hitter. And a pretty tough one to start things off for the Brewers. And Paul Molitor. Molitor coming in with a .303 batting average and a 5-game hitting streak. Of course, doesn't seem like much when you hit 39 in a row last year. And it make it 6 in a row. When you want to talk about guys who can flat out hit, you put number 4 right there, high up on the list.
Paul Molitor, just an outstanding hitter, and he always has been since he came into the big leagues with the Brewers back 10 years ago after playing in only 64 minor league games. A .353 average for Molitor last year, second in the league.
Center fielder Robin Yount bats in the number 2 slot. Yount 1 for 4 last night, .252 on the year. Fastball is high. Molitor, of course, is a threat to steal. He has stolen 8 out of 9, so Greg Swindell will keep an eye on him over at first base. The Brewers led the American League in steals last year. They're down a little bit this year. They have 25, the same as the Tribe. Two and nothing to Yount after the leadoff single by Molitor.
Well, the Brewers with just a greatly improved offense a year ago. They were second in the league in batting average, second in the league in runs scored, and actually scored 200 runs more last year than they did the year before.
That's a fair increase.
Sure is.
Yount going to right field. Corey Snyder going back. It's up into the wind. Corey can't make the play. Molitor had to hold up, and he stops at third. So right from the get-go, the Brewers are cooking here in Milwaukee.
Yount going the other way and hitting this one with authority to the opposite field. He just went down and got that ball and hit it a long way as Corey goes up against the wall and bangs that shoulder as he goes up into the barrier in right field there here in County Stadium.
Mark Wiley is out on the mound talking with Swindell and Allenson. Obviously, it is not going the way they want it to, at least to the first hitters. Snyder ran a long way for that ball and nearly came up with a good catch. And fortunately for the Tribe, because he got back that quickly, Molitor had to hold up, and he and Yount were almost side by side halfway between first and second.
Yeah, Robin Yount is such a good hitter. That pitch was down and away from him. He just went out and whacked it.
The hottest Milwaukee hitter, Glenn Braggs, at the plate, hitting .278, but he has driven in 15 runs already here in the month of May and leads the club with 27 RBIs. And ball 1 to Braggs. A line single up the middle by Molitor. A double to the wall in right by Yount. The Brewers trying to get some early support for Ted Higuera. Braggs goes to right field. This one is shallow. Snyder with a long run makes the play, and Molitor has to retreat to third. Well, they've been working on Corey early, and he's equal to the task that time.
Boy, it took a good play by Corey Snyder on that one to keep the Indians away from all kinds of trouble. This is shallow along the right field line, and Corey coming hard all the way, gets there to make the catch. Then with this off-balance throw, gets a lot on it and gets it into Andy Allenson very quickly.
One big out, but several more to go if Greg Swindell is to avoid problems here in this first inning. Show you how big that out was. In the previous 7 at-bats for Braggs against Greg, he had 5 hits, including a home run.
Wow.
Rob Deere, the big power-hitting left fielder, drives it in the air to left field. Castillo lining up. Molitor's coming. Here comes the throw. It's offline. Brewers lead 1-0 on the sacrifice fly for Rob Deere.
This ball not all that deep in left field. Castillo making the catch near the line, and his throw is offline. Andy Allenson making the play, making a dive to try to get Molitor, but Paul was across the plate.
It got there quickly enough. If it had been a little more on target, they would have had a good chance at getting Molitor at the plate. Of course, Molly has excellent speed. 2 outs in the inning. Yount remains at second base. Left-handed hitting first baseman Greg Brock, the batter. Brock hitting at .292. The former Dodger has 1 home run on the season and 18 RBIs.
Made a world of difference for this left-handed batter to get out of the National League, come to the Brewers last year. He had his best year batting average wise.
2-0. Here in this first inning, Greg Swindell has fallen behind every hitter. And that's not like Greg, certainly at least not the way he has been performing this year. That fastball is over, and it's a 2-1 count.
Well, that was a very key thing for Candiotti last night. It's been a key ingredient for the Indians all season long. Get ahead of those batters, throw strikes. Candiotti gave up 10 hits last night, but he was ahead of the hitters and really pitched a good ball game.
Brock just missed sending it fair past third base, and the count evens at 2-2. You might wonder why Tom Trebelhorn goes with the left-handed hitting Brock as Joey Meyer, the DH, waits on deck. Brock last year hit .282 against left-handed pitching after showing no real ability to hit against lefties in his National League career. He goes to left field for a base hit. Yount rounds third. He will score, and it is 2-0 Milwaukee. Greg Brock with his 19th RBI of the year. I don't know if they would have had a play on Yount at the plate, but once Castillo bobbled the ball, that chance went by the boards.
That was a really quality at bat for Greg Brock. He got ahead of Swindell and then just went with it and banged it into left field. You mentioned that Brock hit .282 last year against left-handers. That brought his career average against left-handers to .217. Imagine what it would have been prior to that.
Really? Joey Meyer, rookie designated hitter, big guy out of Hawaii, 6'3", 260-pounder. Big rip at that one, and it's 1-1. Meyer with just 2 home runs thus far, and you can see he was overmatched on that fastball. And now it's 1-2.
He has that classic uppercut swing of a power hitter. Kind of reminds you of Steve Balboni with the Royals.
I was just thinking the same thing, Steve. If you just look down there, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference from behind. Brewers with 2 runs on 3 hits in this first inning off of Greg Swindell to lead 2-0. 2-2. Chopped at Jacoby on the off-speed pitch. That'll do it for Milwaukee, but they scored 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave a man after 1. 2-0 Brewers.
From a discus thrower in Los Angeles to a golfer in Florida, from cyclists in San Francisco to equestrians in Arizona, U.S. Air is getting more people to their summer vacation events with low fares to over 130 cities. So no matter what you play or where you play it, call your travel consultant or U.S. Air, the official airline of your summer games.
Many years, they've carried our beer. A special breed. delivering a special brand. Today, the Clydesdales also carry a message. One of consistency, care, of natural ingredients, and exclusive beechwood aging, which give Budweiser that distinctively clean, crisp taste. The Clydesdales. Today, they carry our message of quality.
Well, the Brewers coming up with a couple of runs to give Teddy Higuera the lead as we head for the second inning here at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Well, join us at the stadium Saturday, May 28th at 7:35 p.m. for Fuji Photo Night. The Tribe takes on these Brewers, and all fans will be invited to a pregame photo party on the field with Indians players and coaches. So bring your cameras and film. Fuji Photo Night begins at 6:35 p.m. on Saturday, May 28th. Then the Indians and the Brewers at 7:35. Saturday, May 28th at the stadium. For tickets, call Ticketmaster 241-5555 or toll free 1-800-248-8888.
Third baseman Brooke Jacoby leads off the second inning for the Indians. Jake hitting at .317, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. Been struggling a little bit of late. 0 for 4 last night. 1 for his last 10. Ball skipped to the plate, and it's 2-0 on Jacoby. The recent troubles have dropped Jacoby out of the top 10 in hitting for the first time in a while. But overall, he has still been hitting the ball really well. Playing good, solid defense at third base. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it hooks to the ball boy who made a nice play there. Good crowd on hand here on a chilly night in Milwaukee. Game 2 of this 4-game set will also be with you Sunday afternoon, 2:30 Cleveland time. Dale Swain, the shortstop. High throw, and it pulled Brock off the bag.
Well, Swain has had his problems defensively ever since getting to the big leagues with the Brewers. And his throw here pulls Brock off the bag, as you can see, and Jacoby gets in there safely. That will be the 10th error of the year for Dale Swain at shortstop.
He had 23 errors there last year. But considering the number of games he played there, it was an improvement after he had 22 errors in fewer games at third base in his rookie season. Ron Kittle, the DH again tonight for the Tribe. Ron at .294. 3 home runs, one of those a pinch hit home run in California. 8 RBIs. Looped out over the infield. It'll be a long run for Yount, but it holds up, and then a near collision with Rob Deere. 1 down. Boy, if Deere and Yount got together, that'd be some kind of pop.
Robin is a very lucky fellow that Deere got out of the way just in time. He is a big man.
One down. Jacoby remains at first base. Corey Snyder looks down to John Gorel at third for the sign and digs in at the plate with a .260 batting average. 6 home runs. Had a home run number 6 last night over the .390 sign in left center field, and 17 RBIs. Corey, after a horrible skid, has begun to get it going again with 5 hits in his last 12 at bats. You're watching Tribe Baseball on WUAB TV channel 43, serving Lorain, Cleveland, your favorite sports station. Steve Lamar and yours truly, Jack Corrigan. As I mentioned, you'll be able to watch the finale of this series Sunday afternoon at 2:30 here on channel 43. Scott Bales against Billy Wegman in that one. 1-1 count now on Corey Snyder. John Farrell will pitch tomorrow afternoon for the Tribe. Boy, John really suffered a tough loss Monday night. An excellent ball game against the Angels Monday in Anaheim. He'll be going up against Mike Birkbeck, young man out of the University of Akron.
over the last couple of weeks. There have been some good pitching outings by the Indians, but the ball club really has not been hitting over the last couple of weeks, so they've been wasted.
Good pitch in on Snyder's hands, and it's a 1-2 count on Corey with 1 out and 1 on. Carmen Castillo playing left field tonight with the left-handed pitcher. Will hit next. I think the most telling stat, Steve, about the offense is you've accurately pointed out, in their last 13 ball games, they've scored 4 runs or less in 12 of them. 2-2. It's amazing that they're 4-9 in that stretch with that kind of offensive paucity.
It is amazing that they have won 4 games in the last 13. On this road trip, they've hit just .238. It's amazing they've won 3 of the 8 games they've played.
And you know this team will hit. Snyder trying to time the changeup, pops it in the direction of Paul Molitor at third. 2 down. I'm wondering about that back of Higuera's, because so far in these first 2 at-bats for the Tribe, he is really going with a lot of off-speed stuff.
He really has, and he certainly fooled Corey on that one. Corey trying to catch up with the change, couldn't do it, and popped it up. They say it's a day-to-day thing for Higuera, and he'll be able to stay in the rotation probably. Won't miss any turns as long as he does a lot of loosening up and limbering up exercise before the ball game.
Carmen Castillo's going to get a base hit. The first of the ball game for the Tribe as he jumped on an off-speed offering from Higuera. So Carmen keeps the inning alive as Jacoby checks in at second.
And Higuera left this one out over the plate, and Carmen able to get it, whack it into left field.
Here comes the offensive hero from last night's victory, Ron Washington. Ronnie getting a start at shortstop. Jay Bell had taken a foul ball on his foot on Wednesday. It's not really serious, but Ron got the start in his triple in the 9th inning. Scored Mel Hall with a game-winning run, and then he came home on a double by Andy Allenson. Overmatched on that Higuera fastball. Strike 1. On the year, Ron's been to the plate 20 times and collected 6 hits. And those 6 hits have produced a couple of RBIs, including the game winner last night. Foul tipped into the glove of Surhoff. 0-2.
Washington is such a pro. It's a cliche, but a lot of people call him a pro's pro. He's the utility infielder. He has to stay ready to play every night. He goes out and takes 75 to 80 ground balls every night before the ball games just to stay ready.
A little bit inside as he changed speeds on him. 1-2.
And this is a fellow who is in his 18th season as a professional player, and yet he has spent only 4 full seasons in the major leagues.
That's loving the game, isn't it?
It sure is.
Now 2-2. Well, without question, the acquisitions of Washington and Kittle have certainly improved the Indians' bench situation from a year ago. They've already demonstrated that in the first 6 weeks of the season. And he's been able to work the count full.
You absolutely have to have some people on that bench who can come in and pinch hit, fill in defensively, and pick up for other ball players when they might be in slumps or injured.
Jacoby and Castillo will be able to break with the pitch. And we'll try it again. Andy Allenson hoping he gets a crack this inning, that Ron Washington keeps the frame alive. Tribe concludes this 12-game road trip. As we told you Sunday afternoon, they get an off day Monday. Come home for just 3 dates, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at the stadium against the White Sox, before going back out on the road again for 6 more games. Got him. Second strikeout for Higuera. That ends the inning for the Tribe. No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left on. Middle of 2, 2-0 Milwaukee.
ProCare Advantage number 11.
There are many inconvenient ways to get around when your car is in service. But ProCare has a better way. Low-cost rental cars during the day and free loaners overnight.
ProCare Advantage number 17.
After the other car repair places have closed for the night,
Hello, ProCare.
ProCare stays open to fix your car. Weeknights till 9, Saturday till 6.
Getting around out on the town, going places is just part of your day. Getting things done and having some fun. Now's the time for RTA. RTA through the streets of Cleveland takes you there from the mall to the square. RTA taking care of business. Don't you know RTA takes you there?
If you had been watching the 10 o'clock news on Channel 43 last night, you would have seen
the fires rage and the verdict outrage. The judge says Whitfield is not guilty. Others say he's the killer. A 4-alarm fire kills 1 and injures 8. Firefighters battle the blaze for hours. I'm Ramona Robinson. We showed you a police protest, the president's preference, and power plays in Panama.
Watch the 10 o'clock news on Channel 43. The right people at the right time.
Milwaukee has the lead 2-0 heading to the bottom of the second inning. The Brewers scoring quickly against Greg Swindell. Molitor led off with a base hit up the middle. Robin Yount then doubled off the right field wall. Rob Deere scored Molitor with a sacrifice fly. And then Greg Brock with an opposite field base hit to left field to drive in Robin Yount. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Second-year catcher B.J. Surhoff, the All-American out of North Carolina. And what a good young talent this man is. Leads off the second inning against Swindell. A couple of Olympic teammates going at it right here. Surhoff, the catcher on that '84 Olympic club. See the .253 batting average. One and one.
Surhoff, one of the reasons that the Brewers were able to vastly improve their offense a year ago.
Big, slow breaking ball, and it's 2-1. Not only did he hit well, hit nearly 300. In fact, would have hit 300, except he had an offer on the last day of the year against Roger Clemens. 2-2. But such a good clutch hitter for a young player. I think that's what impressed me most about Surhoff last year.
He got some big hits in some clutch situations for Milwaukee. And it was a big reason the Brewers wound up 20 games over the 500 mark.
2-2 pitch. Got him on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Surhoff is out number 1. You know, there's been a lot of criticism here at County Stadium about the condition of the infield. Frank White of Kansas City said it's the worst in baseball. Before the game, we talked with Brooks Jacoby and asked him if they've made any improvements to the infield.
Well, there were a couple bad hops on it last night. Pat Tabler made a heck of a nice play on a ball that really came up on him. I don't know if I really see any difference out there. It's still about the same, I think, and just got to try to knock the ball down.
Kind of knock the ball down. You got to do that a lot over here at third base, Jake. But so far, there have not been any ground ball situations for the Tribe infield. 2-strike count on Dale Swaim, the Milwaukee shortstop. He mentioned in the paper today he thought the infield was better, but still far from what it should be. In particular, they got a real problem with the lip, the cut of the grass, it seems, here in this infield.
Well, they've done a lot of work on it. They've actually taken samples of the infield dirt and sent them on to the University of Wisconsin for testing to see if they're the sand content, if there's too much or too little sand in there.
And they thought a lot of guys complained some spots it was too soft and the ball would just die in it. Other places it would take weird bounces. Got a young man out of Ohio State University, Dave Miller, who is part of the grounds crew here at County Stadium right now. I wanted to say hello to everybody back in Ohio. 2-2. I'm sure he has been busy this spring as they've tried to work, because they haven't, in fact, done work on the skin part of the infield during the last Brewers road trip. They did a great deal of work, brought in a lot of new dirt and everything else to the infield. Swain goes down swinging, and back-to-back strikeouts for Greg Swindell. He's now got 37 on the season.
Number 17, Jim Gutner.
Swindell is making a good pitch, blowing it by Swain. That's the 33rd time already this year that Swain has fanned.
That's a few too many, I think.
110 at bats. That's a pretty good rate.
Yes. Jimmy Gantner, the veteran infielder, is swinging at the first pitch and puts it into the upper deck off to our left.
Boy, the Boston Red Sox are swinging tonight. They lead Seattle 12-2 after 4 innings. Greenwell has hit 2 home runs. Sam Horn has hit 1. Rick Cerrone has hit 1.
1-1. Steve will be running down the scores in the 3rd inning of all the action in baseball. Ground ball to Ron Washington. 1-2-3 inning for Greg Swindell. We've played 2 in Milwaukee. 2-0 Brewers.
Mothers and fathers, take your kids to the Lincoln sites in Springfield, Illinois. Fairfield State Capitol, Lincoln's family at home, the train depot, where Honest Abe left for Washington. See New Salem Village, and much, much more.
The Lincoln sites.
Maybe our forefathers can't get us there, but our fathers can.
Illinois, you put me in a happy state.
This is the imported Pontiac Le Mans. Check it out. Its quality and dependability are backed by a powertrain warranty far longer than anything on Toyota, Hyundai, even Honda. And now, qualified first-time new car buyers can get $600 cash back, meaning Le Mans could be yours for just $57.99.
They said it would keep you warm at unbeatable prices. But the electric heat pump failed to work below 30 degrees and blew air that felt cool. Then it broke down and wore out. It was only 7 years old. So far, over 2,100 people in East Ohio land have walked away from the electric heat pump to the warmth and savings of natural gas. The climate is right for gas. The East Ohio Gas Company.
The Indians have just 1 hit through the first 2 innings, and they trail the Brewers 2-0. Say, boys and girls, join the Kenny King's Little Indians fan club. Visit any participating Kenny King's Kentucky Fried Chicken and pick up an official membership form. You'll receive a fan club wristwatch, a picture of your favorite player, a membership that entitles you to attend 4 games for only $1 each, and admittance to a private autograph party later in the season. That membership card also gives you a 10% discount at the Indians gift shop. So get on into a Kenny King's and join the Little Indians fan club.
Teddy Higuera has allowed just 1 hit through the first 2 innings. Tribe also had a man on in the 2nd inning on an error by the shortstop Dale Swain. Andy Ellenson leading off the 3rd. Bunt down the first base side, and Tom Spencer makes the play in the coaching box. Allenson batting at .252, a home run and 11 RBIs, working on a 4-game hitting streak. Drove in a run last night with a 9th inning double. In the air to left center field. Yount and Deere converge, this time without any threat of a collision. Out number 1. As Julio Franco gets ready to hit, we want to let you know about tonight's contestant in the Snapper Channel 43 Mow 'em Down with a Tribe contest. If an Indians pitcher strikes out the side without a run scoring tonight, Richard Golias from Cleveland will win a Snapper high-vac self-propelled mower. Easy for me to say. So good luck to you, Richard. John Shulock and Julio checking out a little nick in the bat. Guess it's all right. Julio flying out to right field to lead off the ball game for the Tribe. You know it's going to be tough for the Tribe tonight against Teddy Higuera anyway, based upon his career numbers. But this season, as he sends the 1-ball pitch to the plate for a strike, the opposition is batting 199 against him. When you see that kind of number, you wonder how he lost the one game he lost.
That's right. Well, he lost it because he was shut out by Roger Clemens.
Did he go too far? Yes, he did, said John Shulock. 1-2. Johnny Gorel coaching over at third base for the Tribe. Tom Spencer over on the first base side. This is the month to get Higuera. The month of May has been historically his bad month. If anything can be found bad about a guy who is 62-30, or 56-30, excuse me, in the big leagues. Now in his 4th year out of Juarez, Mexico. 2-2 pitch. On his hands, Brock has a play for out number 2.
Julio just getting jammed with that one. Good pitch by Higuera.
I hope not.
Pat Tabler was called out on strikes on a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Higuera is 6-10 in the month of May. 50-20 in the other months.
And not bad here at County Stadium, is he?
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find him bad in too many spots, Steve, but you're right. Yeah, this whole team is really, the last couple of years, particularly last season, a team that loved to play at home. They were just an excellent home ball club in '87. Here in '88, the Brewers are off to another good start at home. They are 11-5 at home. Tribe split right down the middle in terms of its home road performances so far. 10-6 at home, 10-7 on the road. Tabler got a piece of it, but not much on the best heat we have seen Higuera throw in these first 3 innings. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 3rd. Two and 2. Again, the off-speed pitch. Well, you don't get to be as successful in the big leagues in his first 3 seasons as Higuera has been without the ability to move the ball around in the strike zone and change speeds, and he is very adept at that. Swain charges on the big hop. Another 1-2-3 inning for Teddy Higuera. Middle of 3. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Budweiser and Bud Light join with USA Today to give baseball fans something new. Now, for the first time, you can also pick up an official All-Star fan ballot free wherever you pick up Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite Major League players. Then, test your baseball trivia and win valuable prizes.
Answers are in USA Today every day.
So fans, settle back with a cold Bud or Bud Light. Vote for your favorite All-Stars and be part of a baseball tradition.
twilight, the time when families come together. And now, Bob Evans makes it even nicer with a dozen brand new family dinners, the kind Mom used to make. And 7 of them are less than $5. So come sunset, stop by and see Bob Evans in a whole new light.
Just a few smiles from home.
Beef stew, just one of 7 Bob Evans dinners for under $5.
The Reds do it. So do Krylon Blues. Krylon paint turns everything old Krylon new. Spray on Krylon for a smooth, professional finish. With no runs, no drips, no errors. Now that's Krylon new.
I paint the old pitching machine with Rust Magic with RP2. Rust Magic keeps this pitcher in great shape, and Rust Magic dries faster than the leading national brand. That's a wicker when you're rained out. Rust Magic from Krylon. Tough, fast-drying rust protection.
The Brewers scoring twice in the bottom of the first inning on Greg Swindell have a 2-0 lead over the Indians after 2.5 innings. We'll be back with you Sunday afternoon from County Stadium here in Milwaukee at 2:30 Cleveland time as the Indians again take on the Brewers. That'll be Scott Bales for Cleveland and Bill Whiteman for Milwaukee. 2:30 Sunday afternoon on Channel 43, and then next Tuesday night at 7:30 the Indians at home at the stadium playing the Chicago White Sox.
Paul Molitor leads off the 3rd inning. He started the trouble in the 1st. Base hit right up the middle. Eventually came around to score on a Rob Deere sacrifice fly. This guy is crucial to anything Milwaukee does. Last year, of course, he had the terrific year when he had the 39-game hitting streak and the .353 batting average. But I think the most impressive stat, the Brewers were 35 games above 500 in the games in which Molitor played. 76-41.
He's just a solid ball player. Outstanding offensively, does a very fine job defensively on the infield.
Chop towards Franco. He'll have to hurry with Molitor's speed. Got him. So the dangerous Paul Molitor is erased on a nice charging play by Julio.
High chop, and Franco had to hurry to get Molitor, who still can move, although he has off and on problems with his hamstrings. And Julio got him.
Center fielder Robin Yount had the big blow of the 1st inning. A double off the wall and right. It actually caught part of Corey Snyder's glove and then hit the wall.
Checking the scoreboard, the Yankees are at home against the Angels. It's California 3, New York 1. That's in the bottom of the 4th inning. Al Leiter started that game for the Yankees, but the youngster was knocked out in the 2nd inning. Neil Allen coming on. Kirk McCaskill pitching for the Angels. Armas a home run for California. Don Slott for New York.
Good fastball there on Yount. It's a 1-2 count.
Boston 12, Seattle 5.
Wow.
That's after 4.5 innings. Greenwell with 2 homers, Cerrone with 1, Sam Horn with 1 for the Red Sox. Phelps and Brantley have homered for the Mariners. Well, Ken Boyd pitching for Boston. Campbell started for Seattle. The former Indian Jerry Reed came on in a 6-run Boston 4th inning.
Hit at Jacoby at 3rd. Across the diamond for out number 2. Greg Swindell has now polished off 6 in a row.
Detroit 4, Minnesota nothing. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Alexander against Anderson. Salazar, Trammell, and Knight have homered for Detroit. Baltimore 2, Oakland 1. That's after 4. Dave Stewart is pitching for Oakland, going for his 9th straight win. Tibbs for Baltimore.
You're looking at Glenn Braggs. Braggs hit a fly ball to right field in his first at bat. Corey Snyder had a charge in for it, made a nice play.
Murray and Lynn have homered in that Baltimore game. White Sox lead Toronto 1-0 after 2. Kansas City leading Texas 1-0 after 2.5 on a home run by George Brett, his 7th of the year. National League at Cincinnati 4, Pittsburgh 4 in the 6th inning. Eric Davis is homered for Cincinnati. Barry Bonds and Sid Bream for the Pirates.
2-strike count on Glenn Braggs as Greg Swindell, after a slow start in the 1st inning, has gotten the fastball to heat up and is in the groove right now.
Cardinals 1, Braves 0 after 2 in St. Louis. De Leon against Pete Smith. Cubs and the Astros 1-1 after 2. Moyer against Ryan. 3 other games will be played a little later out on the West Coast.
0-2 pitch to Glenn Braggs. Able to lay off the high hard one. Sure, and stay with us throughout the ball game, but we'll be updating the scoreboard for you definitely in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th innings, and periodically we'll make updates as the information comes along to us. But I want to try and get a routine for people at home, Steve. You and I know people always say, hey, give us more scores.
That's right.
All those rotisserie leagues and everything else.
Who's hitting home runs? Who's getting the wins and the saves?
1-2 pitch to Glenn Braggs. Now 2-2. Twice Greg has tried to get Braggs to go after a high outside pitch. He's been able to lay off them. Times the breaking ball, but to the deepest part of the yard. Joe Carter squeezes it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Greg Swindell. We head to the 4th. 2-0 Brewers.
I gotta eat.
There's something over there. Can't get anywhere. Just down the road away. Anytime, any day. It's what's happening next. It's where best meets west. You gotta cross it, jump it, bust it, bump it. Gotta cross it, jump it, bust it, bump it. Like a well at your order.
I'm starved.
Make a run for the border.
Look for it where you know you'll find it. In the official GTE Yellow Pages.
Oui, madame. The rug arrived. It looks lovely. Hello, Fifi. Yes, the guest should be here at 6. Fifi, how could you?
Relax. You know you'll get help from the official GTE Yellow Pages.
Once you look through a Minolta Maxim, you'll never see life the same way again. Maxim, the world's first SLR with built-in autofocus. 26 autofocus lenses capture the action as only you see it. You and Minolta Maxim bring creativity to life. The Maxim system.
Only from the mind of Minolta.